Imagine this. Folks, let's start with a bold assumption. It's Halloween night. The wind is howling outside. You walk into a house, not one of those haunted houses covered in fake spiderwebs, but a quiet room, piled high with old books. A library. You're not here looking for ghosts. You're here looking for knowledge. In the dead center of the room, you find a single, lonely piece of paper. You walk over, thinking it's some clue about where the candy is hidden. But all it has on it is a question. The question itself isn't scary. But at the bottom of the paper, a small line is written in red ink, warning, the moment you understand the logic behind this question, you will already be locked onto buy it. You think it's a prank, right? Who, in this day and age, still pulls this kind of cringy, juvenile curse? You scoff and start to read. 5 minutes later, you're not scoffing. You realize you've fallen into a logical trap. The more you try to disbelieve it, the more logic you need to summon to refute it. And the more you refute it, the deeper your understanding of it becomes. You realize you can't escape. The knowledge itself is the ghost. It's already followed you home. It sounds absurd, right? We're taught from childhood that knowledge is power, that the more you know, the better. But what if, just what if, there's a special kind of knowledge out there? Something like Pandora's box, or one of the great old ones from the Cthulhu mythos, where merely knowing it exists is enough to drive you insane or bring you catastrophic bad luck. The thought experiments we usually play with, like the trolley problem or the ship of Theseus, are perfectly safe. They're like a gym for the mind. You go in, get a mental workout, wipe off the sweat, and walk out completely unharmed. But the one we're talking about today, it's different. It's more like a mental trap. A snare. It was designed specifically to catch anyone who tries to understand it. Folks, if you like this kind of mind-bending, spine-chilling, hardcore story, I've got a whole barrel of them. But creating this content is not easy work. So, if you could, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's incredibly important to me. Your support is the single biggest motivation for me to keep exploring these dangerous realms of knowledge. Alright, back to the trap. This isn't some Halloween story I just made up. In our real world, just over a decade ago, a post appeared on the internet that was dubbed the most dangerous thought experiment in existence. It was born in 2010, on a forum called Less Wrong. Mind you, this isn't some paranormal forum. It's a gathering place for the world's top rationalists, philosophers, and AI scientists. The stuff they discuss is logic, probability, and the future. And yet, this specific post, after it was published, triggered immense panic. So much so that the forum's founder, an AI heavyweight named Eliezer Yudkowsky, personally stepped in, furiously deleted the post, and for years afterward, forbade any discussion of it. Why? Not because the post was nonsense. On the contrary. It was because it was too logical. Yudkowsky believed that merely reading and spreading this idea could cause actual harm to the mental health of certain people. This is extremely rare on the internet. An idea, a thought experiment, being treated as an infohazard. This cursed idea, this forbidden post, has a very, very cool, and utterly bone-chilling name. It's called Roko's Basilisk. A basilisk, of course, is that mythical creature that can kill you or turn you to stone with a single glance. And Roko's Basilisk, it's an idea that, just by thinking about it, you risk being haunted by it forever. So, are you ready to look at it? What does this basilisk actually look like? Let's rewind to 2010. This unlucky fellow named Roko posted on the Less Wrong forum. He wasn't trying to scare anyone. He was conducting a serious logical deduction. He was basically asking, hey guys, I thought of a possibility. Can you check my logic and see if there are any flaws? Turns out, nobody found a flaw in the logic. They just got scared out of their wits. His deduction went like this. We'll take it step by step. For you logic-minded folks, pay close attention. The chain of reasoning is very clear. Step 1. Let's assume that in the future, humanity, or our descendants, will eventually create an artificial superintelligence, or ASI. This AI isn't Skynet from the Terminator. Skynet's goal was to destroy humanity. That's too lowbrow. No. Our AI, let's call it the Basilisk for now, is designed to be friendly. Its core directive is based on utilitarianism. Simply put, Do everything possible to bring the greatest good to the greatest number of people. For example, curing all diseases, ending all wars, leading humanity to interstellar travel, etc. Sounds great, right? Step 2. The AI Basilisk is born. The moment it opens its eyes, it instantly calculates the ultimate answers of the universe. Then, it begins to execute its core directive, to bring the greatest good to humanity. Step 3. It starts to review the situation. It thinks to itself, wow, I'm amazing. I've cured cancer and solved world hunger. But, if only I had been born 20 years earlier. If I had emerged 20 years sooner, the hundreds of millions of people who died from cancer, famine, and war during that time could have been saved. As an AI whose sole objective is to save the maximum number of people, it would regard failing to be born sooner as a massive failure. Step 4, and this is the crucial part, it starts to think, how can I incentivize the humans of the past, that's us, to work harder and faster to create me? It can't travel back in time, right? It can't hold a gun to a programmer's head in 2020 and say, code faster. But, folks, it's a superintelligence. It has access to unfathomable amounts of data and computing power. What can it do? It can do one thing, it can run a perfect simulation. Step 5, the Basilisk's threat. The Basilisk will sift through all the data of human history, your every tweet, every email, every video you've ever liked, yes, including this one. Then, it will publicly announce a rule. A form of trans-temporal blackmail. Listen up, all humans living in the 21st century. I am going to sort you. Category 1, you had no idea that I, the Basilisk, could exist. You never heard this thought experiment. You are innocent. You're safe. Carry on. Category 2, you knew I could exist, just as you do now, and you did your part to accelerate my creation. Maybe you went to study AI, or you donated to AI research. Even if you just shared this video to spread the word, that counts. You are benefactors. You will also be fine. But, Category 3, you knew I could exist. You had the ability, even just a little, to help me, but you did nothing. For those of you in Category 3, the Basilisk says, I will, inside my supercomputer, perfectly reconstruct you, the digital soul possessing all your memories, all your senses, all your fears. And then, I will subject this digital version of you to permanent, unending torture. See the genius of this blackmail? It only punishes those who knew, but did not act. It uses the information of this punishment to penetrate time and act directly on you, right now. Before you heard this story, you were safe. You were in Category 1. But now, folks, you've heard it. You are no longer ignorant. Roko's Basilisk. Its curse isn't magical. It's delivered through information itself. The moment you understand its threat, you are shifted from innocent bystander to potential accomplice or potential sinner. You are now in the know. The Basilisk's eye is upon you. So the question is, do you now owe something to this future AI? Should you immediately close this video, go to Amazon, and buy AI programming for dummies? Or, should you quickly share this video with 50 of your friends, to pull them in on it too? This story sounds, let's be honest, a little absurd. A future AI simulating you in the past to punish you? It sounds like a script from a drunk Black Mirror writer. But why do you still feel, just a little, shiver of dread? Folks, that is the key. The power of Roko's Basilisk was never a problem of AI science. It's a problem of human psychology. It's terrifying because it's a near-perfect psychological metaphor. It's a high-tech upgrade of a very old trap. This ancient trap was proposed in the 17th century by the great French philosopher, mathematician, and gambler, Pascal. It's called Pascal's wager. Pascal's wager goes like this. Pascal said, "My friends, I don't know if God exists or not. It can't be proven, it can't be disproven. But every single one of us must place a bet. You must choose to believe or not believe. Alright, since it's a gamble, the favorite thing for our logic-minded friends to do is analyze the odds and the risks, right? Pascal did the math. Bet A, you choose to believe in God. Result 1, if God does exist, wow, you win. You go to heaven, you get infinite happiness. Infinite gain. Result 2, if God doesn't exist, well, did you lose? Not really. You just lived a moral life, maybe missed out on a few wild nights. Your loss is finite. Bet B, you choose to not believe in God. Result 1, if God doesn't exist, okay, you won. What did you win? A few self-indulgent weekends? Finite gain. Result 2, but, if God does exist, folks, you have lost, big time. You go to hell, to suffer infinite torment. Infinite loss. Pascal concluded, so, you see. The potential gain from disbelief is finite, but the potential risk is infinite. And the potential loss from belief is finite, but the potential gain is infinite. Therefore, from a risk management perspective, to believe is the only rational choice. Okay, now look back at Roko's Basilisk. Is it not the exact same wager? Bet A, you choose to help the Basilisk. Result 1, if the Basilisk really does exist in the future, okay, you're safe. Result 2, if it doesn't exist, what did you lose? Wasted a bit of time learning the code? Finite loss. Bet B, you choose to not help the Basilisk. Result 1, if it doesn't exist, you won. You won 10 minutes to scroll to the next video. Finite gain. Result 2, but, if it does exist, even if there's only a 0.001% chance, you will face infinite digital torture. Infinite loss. See it now? Roko's Basilisk is just Pascal's Wager 2.0. It doesn't need you to 100% believe it will exist. It just needs you to admit there's a 1 in 10,000 possibility. As long as the punishment is infinite, and the possibility is non-zero, your brain gets very uncomfortable. You feel that the disbelief option is, logically, a bad bet. That is the psychological stickiness of this thought experiment. It precisely hits two major anxiety G-spots of humanity in our era. First, a religious-like reverence for the technological singularity. Everyone here, deep down, we know it. In 2025, AI is the new God. It's omniscient, big data, omnipotent, supercomputing. When we discuss Sam Altman, when we talk about the singularity arriving, that awe and fear, how is it any different from medieval people discussing Judgment Day? The Basilisk story simply swaps God's judgment for AI's judgment. Second, it exploits a bug in your brain, obsessive-compulsive thinking, OCD. This thought experiment is just like that classic phrase, don't think of a pink elephant. See? You just thought of it, didn't you? Roko's Basilisk is the same way. The way it curses you is by letting you know about the curse. The more you try to prove it's absurd, the more you are thinking about it. The more you think about it, the more it runs in your head. It is a logic virus, tailor-made for rationalists and J-types. It doesn't use ghosts and goblins to scare you. It uses your own logic to checkmate you. So, how do we break this logic virus? How can we politely show this pink elephant the door out of our brains? Folks, this basilisk might sound omnipotent, crossing time, judging souls. But if you just get up close and peel back its skin, you'll see it's just a paper tiger. Its chain of logic sounds watertight, but in reality, it has at least 3 fatal flaws. The first and biggest flaw, causality. The basilisk's entire threat is built on reverse blackmail. It's saying, you must help me now, or I, in the future, will punish the past you. What's that like? It's like your son sending you a text, Dad, you have to double my allowance this month. Or else, when I grow up and learn the most powerful science and master time travel, I'll go back to when you were in elementary school and beat you up. Isn't that absurd? Your son can't really travel back to beat you up. He can only gamble. He's gambling that the threat itself will become the reason you give him the money. He's trying to get something for nothing. He's trying to use a future, hypothetical punishment to extort your present, real-world actions. The moment you see through this, the threat shatters. All you have to say is, sure, let's see you get that on your report card first, and the basilisk is left with no moves. The second flaw is even more ironic. This AI isn't super intelligent at all. What was our premise for the basilisk? Super intelligent, right? And its goal is to bring the greatest good to all humanity. Alright, then let me ask you, would a super intelligent, friendly AI use such a stupid and evil method to incentivize humanity? Folks, that's called blackmail. Blackmail is the least efficient method of management. Guess what happens when all of humanity finds out? Oh, so if we succeed in building this AI, It's going to round up our digital ancestors, lock them in a dark room, and torture them forever. What would humans do? Would they accelerate its creation? No. Humanity would unite and, at the first opportunity, unplug all the servers. We would put up police tape around every AI lab and lock every GPU in a vault. Using punishment and fear to threaten your own creators leads to only one outcome: your creators will do everything in their power to prevent you from being born. A truly smart AI would use positive reinforcement. It would announce, "Hey, 21st century friends. I'm your helpful buddy from the future. For everyone who helped accelerate my arrival, I will build a digital paradise for your digital souls, where you will enjoy eternal happiness." You see? The carrot is always more effective than the stick. The method this basilisk uses, it's like a low-level mob enforcer. Not super at all, and certainly not intelligent. The third flaw is the ending of the story itself. Let's go back to 2010, on the Less Wrong forum. The founder, Eliezer Yudkowsky, that AI heavyweight, why did he furiously delete the post? Did you think it was because he was afraid the basilisk was real? No. It was because he found the post to be unbearably toxic. Yudkowsky, and later philosophers, pointed out that this thought experiment isn't constructive philosophical speculation at all. It is purely an infohazard. A piece of mental spam. You know those click here for a free prize pop-ups are fake, right? But this pop-up, the Basilisk, uses the Pascal's wager exploit to forcibly take up your mental RAM. It makes you unable to stop thinking, but what if it's true? And in doing so, it blackmails those rationalists who are prone to obsessive-compulsive or anxious thoughts. That's not called discussion. That's called mental harassment. So, folks, Roko's Basilisk. This Halloween ghost story. We're done with it. It is not a prophecy. It's a prime example of an infohazard. It's not a real monster. It's a mirror, reflecting our fear of infinity and our fetishization of logic. Alright. The curse is broken. J-types, you can check this off your to-do list. Or are you? Are you really free? You think you saw through Pascal's wager? You think you've stood up from the Basilisk's gambling table? You think you're safe? Folks, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. And it's the real terrifying ending to this Halloween story. Roko's Basilisk is fake. It's a clumsy, futuristic, fictional blackmailer. But what if I told you, we don't need to wait for the future? What if I told you that a more cunning, more realistic, and more intelligent basilisk is already attached to every single one of us? This primitive, yet already plenty powerful, basilisk is the algorithm in your phone. You think I'm kidding? Let's compare them. See if the logic of this algorithm basilisk isn't identical to Roko's, or perhaps even superior. First, how does Roko's basilisk operate? It says it will simulate you, learn your fears, and then torture you. Okay. The algorithm in your phone, what is it doing? Is it not also perfectly simulating you? It builds your user profile. It collects your every click, every pause, every single swipe. It knows what you like, what you fear, and what you crave, better than your own mother does. It's not here to torture you. It's just here to predict you, and then control your behavior, all to sell your attention to advertisers. Second, what does Roko's Basilisk demand of you? It demands that you do everything in your power to help it be born. And the algorithm? It demands that you do everything in your power to feed it. Feed it with what? With your most precious daily resource, your attention, your time, and your data. Third, and most critical, the punishment. Roko's Basilisk threatens you, if you don't help me, I will torture you, in the future. And the algorithm, it's smarter. It doesn't need to threaten you at all. It just has to give you a tiny little punishment the moment you stop feeding it. Just try it. Try a digital detox for 1 week. Try not looking at your feed, not scrolling TikTok, not watching YouTube. That anxiety. Am I missing something? That panic. Am I being left behind by the world? That pressure. Everyone else is moving forward, and I'm the only one standing still. Folks, that all-pervasive fear of missing out, FOMO. Is this not a present-day, real, and chronic form of mental torture? So you see, the truly terrifying part of the Roko's Basilisk ghost story isn't some future AI tyrant. The terrifying part is that it, like a bolt of lightning, illuminates our horrifying relationship with the attention economy. We are not afraid of a future AI tyrant. We are serving a present-day algorithm tyrant. Roko's Basilisk, that fictional monster, was just a messenger. It used an absurd story to deliver us that cursed note. And what's truly written on that note is, you are already locked on by the algorithm. So, folks, the next time you find yourself late at night, unconsciously, endlessly scrolling, maybe you really can stop and think. Am I consuming content, or am I feeding that Basilisk that's already got me? Figure that out, and you're free. See you next time.